Oscar goes to Ron Howard. I love all styles of films, all varieties of stories, truly. And I continually have, and that's taken me on some amazing. She became his high-faculty sweetheart, however their love tale became whatever, but easy. Ron Howard needed to recommend 3 times earlier than she eventually stated sure. Now at 71, the mythical director is revealing what actually took place. The name of the game, fortunate appeal she have become for his movies, the surprising way they named their children, and why he chose her over Hollywood's largest stars. Today, we're exposing the untold romance that stored Ron Howard's life. Ron Howard became born on March 1st, 1954 in Duncan, Oklahoma. His full call was Ronald William Howard. He turned into the primary infant of Rance and Jean Howard, people who had devoted their lives to acting. His father, at first named Harold Beckenholt, modified his closing name to Howard in 1948. He changed into an actor, writer, and director. His mother changed into an actress who had skilled in New York City. Together, they built a circle of relatives wherein storytelling and overall performance had been part of everyday lifestyles. At the time of Ron's delivery, his father became serving within the United States Air Force. Even together with his Navy obligations, Rance in no way permit move of his passion for performing. He had studied drama at the University of Oklahoma and was decided to make it his existence's work. His mom, Jean, had studied performing in New York and brought that same creative power into their domestic. Growing up on this environment, Ron was surrounded by means of creativity. From the very starting, Duncan changed into a small metropolis with fewer than 200 citizens. Life there has been easy, far from the entertainment industry. But while a toddler, Ron showed something special. His dad and mom recognized it early. They desired to offer him the pleasant, feasible risk to broaden his expertise. That selection led them to go way Oklahoma behind and start clean in Hollywood. Even after shifting to Los Angeles, the Howards lived genuinely. They failed to buy a mansion or surround themselves with luxurious. They settled in Burbank, in which they could consciousness on their paintings without distractions. No depend how success they had become. They in no way lost sight of their values. That attitude stored Ron grounded, even as his career took off. Ron's first time on stage occurred when he turned into simply 18 months antique. By the time he was 2, he had already appeared in his first movie, Frontier Woman, 1956. At 4 years old, he became appearing often below his father's steerage. There changed into No Rush to show him into a celeb. His parents desired him to be prepared, to apprehend what he was doing. That instruction made all the distinction. His big spoil got here at age 6, whilst he changed into Forged as Opie Taylor on the Andy Griffith Show in 1960. The display ran for 8 seasons and turned him into a household name. At the time, he was credited as Ronnie Howard, and his portrayal of Opie made him one of the most beloved baby actors on television. His first actual scene on set turned into a hard one. He needed to fake his toy turtle had died and react with real unhappiness. For an infant actor, that became a huge task, but Howard handled it with super awareness. Director Bob Sweeney saw something unique in him and taught him the way to concentrate and make each scene feel real. That recommendation fashioned Howard's technique to acting for years to come. Meanwhile, Griffith became a mentor and father discerned to Howard, guiding him each in appearing and in lifestyles. He taught him about professionalism and storytelling and made certain he felt supported on set. Even after the display ended in 1968, their friendship remained robust. They stayed in touch for many years, and in 1971, Howard even visitor starred on the brand new Andy Griffith display. Griffith frequently praised Howard's talent, and Howard always credited Griffith for shaping his early career. While nevertheless on the Andy Griffith display, Howard became already proving he could do greater than simply TV. In 1962, he starred in The Music Man as Winthrop Peru, a shy boy with a lisp. who gives you one of the film's maximum memorable musical performances. The film became the 1/3 highest-grossing film of the year and earned 6 Academy Award nominations. In 1963, he performed Eddie Corbett in The Courtship of Eddie's Father, a boy searching for his widowed father a brand new wife. His overall performance changed into praise for its emotional intensity and comedic timing. Director Vincente Minnelli became especially inspired, noting that Howard had a herbal capability to convey actual feelings. Howard's interests weren't limited to acting. Even as an infant, he changed into inquisitive about filmmaking. His time on CBS's Playhouse 90 uncovered him to the technical side of TV. The display featured a number of Hollywood's great directors and writers, and Howard paid close attention to how they worked. He watched administrators like Alex Siegel manage complex productions and learned how they delivered tales to existence. Ron Howard's profession took a big breakthrough in 1973, whilst he performed Steve Bolander in American Graffiti. At the time, he became nevertheless first-rate, known as Opie Taylor, from The Andy Griffith Show. That position made him well-known, but it additionally saved him stuck inside the picture of a toddler celebrity. American Graffiti modified the entirety. The film, directed by using George Lucas, becomes set on the final night of summertime in 1962. It observed a group of young adults as they cruised the streets, faced huge existence selections, and listened to the largest rock and roll hits of their time. Lucas primarily based a whole lot of it on his very own teenage years in Modesto. Howard's person, Steve, changed into a high-faculty graduate torn among staying together with his female friend or leaving for university. Audiences connected with the film, which changed into filled with over 40 conventional songs from artists like Buddy Holly and Chuck Berry. It turned into made on a tight price range of underneath $1 million, however, have become a huge hit, earning over $140 million and receiving 5 Academy Award nominations. The film's success went beyond the field office. Its tagline, "Where were you in '62?" struck a chord with baby boomers who remembered their teenage years. It additionally kicked off a wave of nostalgia for the 50s and early 60s. But for Howard, the effect turned into personal. He had spent years as Opie, and Hollywood still noticed him as a child. American Graffiti gave him the chance to show he should tackle more mature roles. It became the breakthrough he needed, and it set the degree for the biggest role of his profession. ABC executives took word of Howard's performance. They saw his ability as a main guy, which led to him being cast as Richie Cunningham in Happy Days in 1974. Created through Gary Marshall, the sitcom became a lighthearted take a look at existence in 1950s America. It had a slow begin, suffering in its first seasons, but the whole thing modified whilst it switched to a multi-digicam format with a Stay Studio target audience. That shift gave the display the energy it wished, and by means of its third season, Happy Days became the #1 display on television. Howard performed Richie as the final boy round the corner. Wholesome, accountable, and smooth to narrate to. His individual changed into the heart of the show, managing teenage lifestyles, friendships, and own family struggles. Happy Days ran for 11 seasons, and Howard remained a regular till 1980. But behind the curtain, things weren't always clean. At first, Howard became the clear megastar of Happy Days. That modified whilst Henry Winkler's character, Arthur Fonzie Fonzarelli, had become a sensation. Fonzie, along with his leather jacket, tough man mindset, and signature i.e. Speedy, became the show's maximum popular character. By season 3, Winkler's name became indexed along Howard's in the establishing credit. The community even taken into consideration renaming the show Fonzie's Satisfied Days. Howard became pissed off. He had signed on looking ahead to be the lead, and now he felt like he became being disregarded. He made it clear that if the title modified, he would depart the display. ABC backed down, preserving the authentic name. However, Fonzie remained the most pointed-out person. Even though Howard and Winkler had been near pals, the state of affairs became tough. Howard admitted that even as he became in no way jealous of Winkler, he felt like Happy Days changed into no longer his display. Things have become even more hard behind the curtain. As Winkler's fame grew, Howard noticed that studio executives treated him otherwise. He turned into now not their pinnacle priority. The media began speculating that he became turning into a second Eglin citizen on his personal display. But instead of letting it get to him, he used it as motivation. He targeted even greater on his directing aims, decided to prove he could do more than act. When Howard left Happy Days in 1980, he failed to walk away as a struggling actor. He left with a clean goal and the talents to make it manifest. Ron Howard's passion for steering started early. While nonetheless in high school in Burbank, California, he were given his arms on a Super 8 digital camera and started making quick films. This wasn't only an interest. He became extreme about getting to know the craft. He even entered a Kodak subsize film contest for excessive college students and gained 2D prize. That early reputation confirmed he had actual skills for storytelling. His father, Rance Howard, performed a key function in shaping his destiny. Rance became an actor who understood the movie enterprise and advocated Ron to see directing as more than just an hobby. At the time, Ron became acting on The Andy Griffith Show, but he changed into just as centered on what befell in the back of the camera. He watched the administrators intently, taking note of digital camera work and rehearsals.